right, I wanted to make this quick video on a watch I found of all places at Costco. I wasn't really in a market to buy right now, but I saw it and it was on a extra discount. I think it was original price like at $200, but they had it for $140, I believe, around there, and I just had to pick it up. So I wanted to do this video on this Bulova Chronograph, and I'll put the actual model number in the description. These are always such a hassle to the numbers here, and here it is. Now I'm always a sucker for these kinds of watches because I always find that the Panda chronographs are very difficult to execute properly. And I'm not saying this one's perfect, but we'll see. Here it is. Let's take it off the pillow. Here's this. There it is. Now, of course, I did not pay that $350 price tag. Like I said, I believe I paid $139 for this brand new. Let's go ahead and take this out and get it ticking. Here it is. Now, honestly, the reason I kind of pulled the trigger on this spontaneously is just because it really is a very, very good looking watch. There aren't very many watches like this where they have only 2 subdials. Usually you get the 3. And I really thought this was just something I needed to pick up. I'm also a big fan of the tuning fork logo, so I just had to get this. So right off the bat, the specifications, at least on paper, look great. I haven't worn this whatsoever, and I'll throw it on the wrist in a bit to see. But right off the bat, I love the case diameter. I believe this is listed at 41 millimeters, but the long lugs here, I think the actual case itself will fit well on my small wrist. You're looking at about 11 to 12 millimeters, I believe was listed between there. You do get that signed crown. Let's see if I get it to focus. Nope. 2 subdials. The water resistance, I believe, was about 30 meters. Nothing great, but of course you're not going to be swimming with or diving with these kinds of watches, but you do get some water resistance. Now again, really, I'm a big fan of these kinds of watches. They're not the ones that are promoted by the brand. They're not the ones that you're going to see everywhere on Instagram. But to me, this is a very well executed design. Let's get the chronograph running there. There you go. And like I said, this white and black is hard to find a well executed design. Now looking at it right here, I do see that the indices are applied, and they're applied quite highly. I like that. They really do pop up the dial. I see the lume sticking up there. I'm not sure if the camera can capture that. Yeah, you can see it there. But really, there isn't much to say about this watch. Oh, I see what I did. And here's a trick for any of y'all who don't know this. If you ever misalign your chronograph, here's a quick way to this usually does work for most quartz chronographs. There you go, I had misaligned it just now. So like I said, there's not much else to say about this watch. It's just a good looking watch. It's a very good affordable watch. Good dimensions, good size, good design. And for under $150 brand new, that really is hard to beat. I'm a big fan of the brand, but for some reason a lot of these chronographs by Bulova are very big and gaudy, and I'm not a fan of those designs. So when I saw this, I just had to have it. But I did bring out a couple of other chronographs to really show the size. Now of course here you have the moon swatch, and as you can see, they wear pretty, at least they look pretty similar in size. So if you have a Speedmaster that you're able to pull off, I don't foresee it to be this much difference in size. or thickness. Now obviously these are both quartz chronographs. Now the Speedmaster does have the higher crystal, but they're just about as thick. Maybe even the Bulova is a little bit thinner. And of course, when talking about the brand, you have to bring out arguably the most famous one in the collection. Now, of course, the Lunar Pilot. The Lunar Pilot's absolutely enormous compared to this one. But two great chronographs by the brand. Now let's go ahead and see how the loom holds up on this one. Bulova is not very famous for the great loom, but let's see how this holds up. All right, let's see this. So I do appreciate every indice being loomed here. And now let's compare this to the Lunar Pilot. They do appear to be different tones, which is odd because usually the brand uses the same loom. Now Bulova isn't exactly famous for their great loom, and as you can see, this one's already fading quite a bit. Let's compare it to the Moon Swatch. So obviously this is a very, very affordable watch. You're not going to get the best movement, the best anything, but with this brand you get some good fit and finish, you get some good value, and like I said, at this price range it's really tough to find something better. Let's throw this on the wrist and see how that works. So for context here, I do have a small wrist. It's about 6.5 inches, and as you can see, this actually fits really, really well. Definitely better than the Lunar Pilot. You don't have a hang on the lugs, so for someone like me to be able to wear this comfortably, it really does say about the great size of it. Now I do like the signed crown there, if you can catch it. Now of course here you are able to see a little bit better that it's not exactly white, this is more of a silver and black, but even at that, it does have some difference between the dial color and the case color. So that creates some nice contrast. But ultimately, like I said, this is a impulse buy and one that we'll see how long it lasts in my collection, but I can't see a lot wrong with going with the $140 watch brand new by this brand that looks this good. I do think that at this price, you won't find much better.